be the list on the floor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Hill House. For those of you who are new, this is our 11th season. This is our 6th concert this season. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Grateful Dead, but they numbered their concerts. And when the Grateful Dead cover bands, I guess you would call them, who actually do Grateful Dead concerts say, this is concert number 457 that we're playing tonight. Well, we're not quite that far. We're actually concert number 84. So that's where we are at the Hill House. Tonight we've got Dom Flemons. Dom is an incredibly nice individual and an incredibly talented musician. You are in for a treat. Dom played with us last year, and when he arrived, and I told him this story earlier, I mean, obviously he knows it because we communicated about it, but he showed up and he thought, you know, can I bring up, I think, more than one guitar? He was thinking it was a house concert. And I said, yeah, bring whatever you've got. And he got up here and he I don't remember his exact words, but it was like, holy shit, this is not really a house concert, is it? And it's not, as you all can tell. So we're delighted that Dom is joining us again this year. We really sincerely mean that, because this guy is an amazing musician, Grammy Award winner. You're in for a real treat tonight. So I won't continue to ramble on, but I'd like to thank Kathy and Dan Dykstra, who are sponsoring tonight's concert. Let's give them a big hand. And it's a little extra special treat. And for those of you who got here a little bit early, you probably saw the cakes. This is commemorating Dan's birthday. It's your 50th, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. So we're commemorating Dan's 50th tonight, and we're delighted that they are sponsoring Dom. We'd also like to recognize David Hogan, who is sponsoring Hot Brown Smackdown a little bit later this season. And then Tri-Arrows Aluminum, who is our corporate sponsor for the season. And I know, if you, Emma, hold up the cups. Tri-Arrows provided cups for the season. Thank you. And put our logo on their aluminum cups. Tri-Arrows Aluminum is a aluminum company. So, yeah, surprise there, right? If you are not aware, we stream all of our concert live on Facebook. On your program, the address to our Facebook page is printed, so we invite you to join and go back and see other concerts. We've got about 30 concerts on Facebook that go back about 2.5 years. For those of you who are new, we have a bathroom to my left. Go in the brown door. Don't lock the brown door. That's the exterior door. Feel free, obviously, to lock the bathroom door when you go in. But if you lock the exterior door, it's one of those locks that it'll lock behind you, and you got to hunt me up, and I got to get the key and unlock it. So just don't lock the brown door when you go in. I'd also like to thank our production team. They're listed in the program. We couldn't do these shows without the 7, 8, 9 people who support our effort every other Saturday night. And thanks so much to the production team for all of your work. When you leave the Hill House tonight, we recommend not going down that steep driveway. You could go down the steps, and then when you get to the bottom of the steps, take a left, go up the gravel drive, and then down that gravel path behind our house, or just walk straight down the gravel path to the gravel path behind our house. The driveway is steep, and it's not lit, so we want to avoid slip and fall problems. Our next concert is 2 weeks. This is a band called Relay. Many of you may know this band, if you're familiar at all, as Bridge 19. That was their original iteration. It's the same founding members, but now the band's called Relay. There will be 7 people in 2 weeks on this stage. I'm excited about Relay. Pam and I've seen them a couple of times over the last few months. They're a phenomenal group, and I'm sure you're going to really enjoy them. Except when Pam and I talk together. Okay. All right, my Red Rocks admonition. Let others hear the performance. If you notice dirty looks or can hear yourself over the performers, please consider the volume of your singing or talking, or head on over to what we call the talking tent, the black tent over there on my left. Without further ado, I'm going to turn the evening over to Dom Flemons. Thanks so much for coming.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Patrick. Thank you, Pam. It's a pleasure to be back here at the Hill House. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Dan. And happy birthday as well. And it's a pleasure to be back here. I had a really great time last time I was here. How many people were here last time I performed here at the Hill House? Okay, cool. We got a few folks, you know, and we got some new folks as well. So I'll be able to tell a few of the same jokes, but I won't tell all the same jokes. Maybe some of the same commentary. We'll see how it goes. But my name's Dom Flemons. I'm known as the American Songster. And a songster is a musician who sings and plays a variety of music, and that's what I'm going to be doing for you this evening. This very first number, I like to start off my performances by playing one of the oldest instruments in my repertoire, an instrument known as the rhythm bones, which I picked up when I started making my journey out to North Carolina. And this is a song that I learned from an old-time fiddler by the name of Joe Thompson, who was from Mebane, North Carolina. And this is one of his family's numbers called Old Cindy Gal. Now, mind you, Joe played the fiddle and being accompanied by the 5-string banjo, but I adapted this song onto the harmonica and the rhythm bones. So, Old Cindy Gal. Much appreciated, ladies and gentlemen. Now the next song I'm going to play for you is with another one of the old instruments in my repertoire. This is an instrument that is called the quills. They're known as the panpipes in many parts of the world. And this is an instrument that's associated with early African American culture going all the way back into the 1860s. And in some ways it got supplanted by the harmonica, but in the early days there were a lot of people that learned the quills as a means to both learn pitch as well as to play some wonderful music. And there was an old-time songster who recorded in the late 1920s by the name of Henry Thomas, and he was one of the few musicians to feature the quills in his performances. In the mid-2000s, I met a fellow by the name of Mike Seeger, who was a wonderful folk musician and scholar. And he and I got to be good friends, and Mike taught me how to play the quills. And it was because we both loved Henry Thomas's music. I mean, so much so that we used to joke and call ourselves the Thomas Brothers, because we were the only two guys who had ever learned this style of playing. And ever since Mike passed away around 2009, I'm about the only person who plays this style of music now. And so this is a little square dance number called Charmin' Betsy.
Charmin' Betsy's going on down the line. Wine glass in her hand, going after her old man. These are the very words she said she's gonna say. Oh, my babe, take me back. I've known the world, Lord, take me back. Sunday morning won't seem wrong. You're gonna call me, I'll be gone. She turned around 2 and 3 times, said, my babe, take me back, take me back, take me back. Oh, my babe, take me back. Make me one pallet on your floor. Make me one pallet on your floor. Oh, make a pallet soft and low. Won't you make it so your man will never know? Oh, make it so your man will never know. Make it so your man will never know. Oh, make a pallet soft and low. Won't you make it so your man will never know? 'Cause I'm looking for that bully of the town. Looking for that bully of the town. I'm looking for that bully can't be found. I'm looking for that bully, lay me down. Yes, looking for that bully of the town. Gotta find him. Looking for that bully of the town. I'm looking for that bully can't be found. I'm looking for that bully, lay me down.
Well, thank you so much. Well, I was born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona, and when I first got into folk music, I had an idea that one day I would be able to do something with the guitar and the banjo, but I didn't know what. But when I first made my way out to North Carolina, I was looking for a certain type of music that I had heard on recordings. I had listened to the records of the music of a woman by the name of Elizabeth Cotton, and I wanted to learn how to play just like her. And then I found it was very difficult to do that because, of course, this is before you had things like YouTube, so you couldn't just see what Elizabeth Cotton looked like when she played the guitar, and she played it upside down, left-handed. And so I did the best I could. And but that special type of North Carolina Piedmont picking, that was something that drew me in. And as I went along, I began to meet a lot of different old-timers as I was traveling all the way through North Carolina, Virginia, and Kentucky, and Georgia. And they taught me a little bit about the finger picking as I went along. And so I'm going to play you some of the North Carolina numbers, though. This is a little medley of songs that come, one from Elizabeth Cotton. I'll start with some Elizabeth Cotton right now. One of her pieces called "Oh Babe, It Ain't No Lie." Then I'll play a little bit of "Railroad Bill," which comes from another woman from Morganton, North Carolina, by the name of Etta Baker. And then I'm going to play a little bit of the "Cannonball Blues," which comes from a fellow named Leslie Riddle from Burnsville, North Carolina, right off the Tennessee border. And so do a little bit of all those, three of those for you. Thank you. Now this next number here, this is a song I wrote. This is a little country waltz. On my most recent record, Traveling Wildfire, I decided to manifest something that I'd been talking about for the better part of 20 years, and that is the African American contributions of country and Western music. Now I know this has come up recently on the big mainstream, popular culture, but, my father growing up, he grew up in Flagstaff, Arizona. He was born in 1950, and back then it was still sort of a halfway between a settlement town, and it didn't really modernize until I actually went to college out there in the early 2000s. And he said when he was growing up, there was one radio station in town, and so we would switch between the popular station, something he called yard sale, which was like Craigslist, but on the radio, and some of you might know exactly what I'm talking about. And then it would switch to the country station. And so when he left Flagstaff and came down to Arizona, he was, at least in his friend group, he was the first black guy that was wearing jeans and T-shirts, so they didn't know what to make of him. And he was also the only guy who knew all the country songs, and so they didn't know what to say, And even as I was growing up, my dad's first time I played on the Grand Ole Opry with Charlie Daniels, I took a picture with him just so that I could show my dad, because he used to have a copy of Super Hits that he got from the gas station, and he'd always sit there and bow his head every time he'd hear, "People say I'm a no good and crazy ass galoot," So that was my intro to black country music, was through my dad. And with this song here, I had a pedal steel player on the studio version by the name of Matt Pinn who joined me on it. And Matt surprised me this year because he actually won a Grammy for doing a record called Two Most Wanted with Beyonce and Miley Cyrus. He was playing pedal steel on that record. But he called me that because I'd gotten a nomination for Best Folk Album with Traveling Wildfire. So thank you so much. Thank you. And he wrote me a message the day after the Grammys and said, "I got this secret recording session I've done with Beyonce. Don't tell anybody, but it's going to be big." But I already knew something was up. I was at the Grammys, and over the years, having been a Recording Academy member for years, we were in the big stadium. It used to be the Staples Center, but now it's the Crypto.com Arena. And so we were sitting in the Crypto. And over the years, I've gotten from being in the nosebleed section all the way down to about 3 rows before you get to the main tables that you see on TV. And of course, I saw Beyonce with her white cowboy hat right in the middle of the floor. And if you don't know me that well, I've also spent a lot of time with talking about the history and playing music of the Black Cowboys, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So I knew something was up. And so when I saw that Matt won that Grammy, I told him about it. I said, "Congrats." He said, "Oh, I didn't even know it happened," So, but nevertheless, I can't say I did much for that particular record, but I did get Matt before he was out of my price range. And so this is a little country waltz I wrote here called Slow Dance With You. This goes to all the men and the women who ever pulled their partner close for a slow dance. Slow dance with you, darling. I ain't the perfect man, but I see the sun's coming up, and you're lovely wrapped in dawn. Darling, take my hand. Take your time, no rush. We've got the band all night. Forget the world, it's just you and I. Ain't got no expectations, got no questions to ask. Darling, take that fear from your eyes, 'cause I wanna pull you close and slow dance with you. Darling, I ain't the perfect man, but I see the sun's coming up and you're lovely wrapped in dawn. Darling, take my hand. I know you miss someone, I'm missing someone too, but it ain't about them tonight. It's about two lost hearts and a bucket full of tears that are being left outside tonight. 'Cause I wanna pull you close and slow dance with you. Darling, I ain't the perfect man, but I see the sun's coming up and you're lovely wrapped in dawn. Darling, take my hand. Darling, take my hand. Thank you so much. Well, another song that I did with Matt on the record, this is another one that kind of is the other side of country music. You know, Slow Dance With You is a love song about coming together and embracing that special moment. And this next song is about the other side of the coin, which is heartbreak and sorrow. And this is a piece called If You Truly Love Me, Let My Heart Go Free. And if you ever catch a video of actually Matt's on tour with Shabuzi right now, and if you ever catch a video of Shabuzi when he's on TV, Matt's the one with the real big hat. You'll see him, you'll notice him. But anyway, he played a beautiful pedal steel part on this one for Traveling Wildfire. So here's a little bit of If You Truly Love Me, Let My Heart Go Free. Tore down the wall that showed me the way to a dream that I once knew. As I ride through the ruins of my old home place, I finally made it on back to you. My hands are tired from knocking on your door, though I can see you clearly through the open window pane. So tell me now, little one, as I stand at your door, tell me forever that you love me no more. For I've come back again to take my picture off the wall. For if you truly love me, let my heart go free. Did you know that I gave away 2 weeks' pay just to be here next to you? Did you ever consider that one look in your eyes could have repaid every debt you were due? There's a storm in the distance, can't you see the clouds? I have a long journey and it looks like rain. Tell me now, little one, as I stand at your door, tell me forever that you love me no more. For I've come back again, but be rest assured that if you truly love me, let my heart go free. There's a twisted mile from the skyline to the sea, and I ask you to let my heart go free. Lullaby, lullaby, a target on my back, a mirror of all you survey. You made me mourn your name, but now my money's my own. My decision it was thoughtfully weighed. A garden once stood in the place where we stand, so I will leave you with this final refrain. Tell me now, little one, as I stand at your door, tell me forever that you love me no more. For I've come back again, get your eyes up off the floor. For if you truly love me, let my heart go free. I've come back again, get your eyes up off the floor. 'Cause I don't give a damn if you don't love me anymore. Well, thank you so much. Well, I want to play you just one more little ballad off of Traveling Wildfire, and then I'm going to pick up the tempo a little bit. Now, this is one here that's a little bit more personal. This one is one I wrote to my wife, Vania, and I tried to write her a Western film in a song, and this is one here, just in some way, just trying to tell her how much I appreciate her. And this is a piece called Dark Beauty. Dark beauty, with your doe-like eyes and a crinkle of hair laying lonely across your brow, all across the mesa. Dust is sticking to my skin, but I ride with the dream of seeing my home again. Dark beauty, sunset sinking over the range. Gonna grab my pastoral, ride the trail to you again. Dark beauty, a cold solemn tone, riding on past the mission bells on the wore out dusty road. And you say, can it wait until tomorrow? For it's you who can take away the sorrow. Shining, you're the spirit I always knew, that would whistle me a melody that would bring me back to you. Dark beauty, I'd ride from Eagle Pass to Row for you to see my returning, with you standing in our home. And you say, can it wait until tomorrow? For it's you who can take away this sorrow, this sorrow. All right, well, as promised, I'll pick up the tempo on this next one here. My very first album I did with Smithsonian Folkways was called Dom Flemons Presents Black Cowboys. And back when I put the album out in 2018, I had trouble convincing people that black cowboys was an important part of American history. And I was worried that nobody would catch on to this idea. You know, because, you make a historical document, because it was the very first album dedicated to the music of black cowboys, telling the story and giving a musical, comprehensive overview. And also, if you happen to go by my website, theamericansongster.com, you can go by and get a link to the Smithsonian Folkways label. All of the liner notes are up there for free in PDF form. And you can check out the Black Cowboys album. My wife and I wrote a 40-page booklet because I found that as I was traveling along, I'd always find one piece of black Western history over something about cowboys, maybe something on Bill Pickett, something about the Pullman Porters or the Buffalo Soldiers, but there was never anything comprehensive. And so I made this record to be that. That's why I wanted to be on Smithsonian, and then that's why I also partnered with the National Museum of African American History and Culture to make sure that it would never be contested. Now, with that being said, you put a book in the library, there's no telling if anybody's going to find that book in the library, and the fact that the Black Cowboys phenomenon has been so widespread has been something that's just been a real treat for me. But one of the songs I put on the album was just to kind of show the different ways that Southern string band music made its way out west and had a profound effect on Western music making. This is an old favorite, Going Down the Road Feeling Bad. Feel free to sing along with me if you know it. Everybody and their brother's done it, and now Dom Flemons is going to do it again for you right now.
I'm going down the road feeling bad. I'm going down the road feeling bad. Yeah, I'm going down the road feeling bad. Lord, I ain't gonna be treated this way. Feed me on cornbread and beans. They feed me on cornbread and beans. Oh, they feed me on cornbread and beans. Lord, I ain't gonna be treated this way. Your $10 shoe hurt my feet. Your $10 shoe hurt my feet, Lord, Lord. $10 shoe hurt my feet, Lord. I ain't gonna be treated this way. Take $100 shoe to fit my feet. Yeah, you know it. $100 shoe to fit my feet. Oh yeah, $100 shoe to fit my feet, Lord. I ain't gonna be treated this way. Going down the long dusty road. I'm going down that long dusty road. I'm going down that long dusty road, Lord. I ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm going down the road feeling bad. I'm going down the road feeling bad. I'm going down the road feeling bad, Lord. I ain't gonna be treated this way.
All right. Now, folks, this very next number here is a piece that I wrote for the Black Cowboys record after reading the story of a famous black cowboy. He was actually one of the few people to write his own autobiography, a fellow by the name of Nat Love. And you can find his book online, The Life and Adventures of Nat Love. And he was a fellow who was born into slavery, and after emancipation, he became a cowboy. And then after being a cowboy for many years, he actually decided to give up being a cowboy and then became a Pullman porter working on the railroad line. Fellow has a fascinating story, and also he spins a great yarn too, so it's a great read too. And I was so inspired by this idea of movement and kind of the shape of the way that the United States developed in, you have to imagine from 1860 all the way into, he wrote his autobiography in, say, 1908, 1910. So much change happened during that time in terms of technology and movement and migration. And so I just decided to write a little blues number, just writing about that idea. This is one called Steel Pony Blues. I caught my steel pony, and boys, I'm gonna ride. First thing smoking down the road somewhere. Called the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. 'Cause I called my steel pony and boys, I'm gonna ride. Getting far too old to follow this here herd. Good Lord, I caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. Called the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. 'Cause I called my steel pony and boys, I'm gonna ride. Now they call me Mr. Flemons, 'cause I'm a pull porter now. Good Lord, I caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. Caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. 'Cause I called my steel pony and boys, I'm gonna ride. Go on, 6. Mr. Flemons, 'cause I done told that guitar down. Good Lord, I caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. Now when you get over there, you won't find me, 'cause I called my steel pony and boys, I'm gonna ride. Go ahead and get it one more time, 6. Take them on down the trail. Thank you. Well, I got time for just a couple more for this very first half of the set. How you doing out there so far? All right. And again, it's been just a real pleasure to be back here at the Hill House. And if you get a chance during the break, just over yonder at the table there and under the black tent, I have some QR codes. You know, I've been modernizing my business and my merch table in a big way, you know, and well, I've mentioned my wife a few different times. She's good at that type of stuff. But if you go to those QR codes, it takes you to the social medias and the link trees and all of the different things you might need to learn more about me and to keep in touch. And for these last two numbers, I want to do a couple of the old-time cowboy songs that I thought were just beautiful ways of being able to express the power of this particular story. This next number here is a song that was classified as a field holler, and it wasn't classified as a cowboy song at all. And I heard this from a field recording of by a folklorist, John Avery Lomax. He recorded this for the Library of Congress from a woman by the name of Vera Ward Hall, who was from Livingston, Alabama. And this is a song called The Wild Ox Moan, and it's also known as Black Woman. And when I started to sit down with the lyrics to this song, I found that it made for an excellent cowboy song. So I made this the song that would start the whole record. So here's a little bit of The Wild Ox Moan. Well, come here, black woman. And sit on daddy's knee. Well, I've got something to tell you, pretty mama. Don't you holler, Lordy. Oh, well, I'm going back to Texas to hear that wild ox moan. And if his moaning don't suit me, black woman, I'm gonna drive my bell cow home. And don't your kitchen feel lonesome? When your biscuit roll is gone. That's it. Another song that took on a whole new meaning to me once I began to sort of research into sort of, you know, because at first there was just having historical books on black cowboys. Now, I had inherited the narrative that nothing had been written about black cowboys, and so I decided to put that to the test, and I found that there were a lot of historical books that had been written, but the big thing was that there hadn't been really a lot of information about the music, and that was where I sort of came in. And so I started to look into some of the history of all these different songs, and one of them was this next one here. This is a piece that was written by a fellow named Jack Thorpe, and Jack Thorpe was the first fellow to write a book dedicated to cowboys. It was called Songs of the Cowboys, back in 1908. And I have to thank a fellow by the name of Don Edwards, a very legendary cowboy singer, for introducing me to a book called Pardoner of the Wind, which was Jack Thorpe's autobiography. And so Jack Thorpe mentions in his autobiography he was from upstate New York. He had gone to Buffalo Bill's Wild West show and he wanted to become a cowboy. So he made his way out from upstate New York. He made his way to New Mexico. He went to a little cow camp where a fellow named Addison Jones was running basically a mostly all-black rodeo and farm and like a cattle ranch just in general. And as he was walking in, Jack Thorpe was greeted by a group of black cowboys who were sitting around a campfire. They had a banjo and they were singing songs about their cutting horses. And because that was one of the things that was very important that I learned about the story of why black cowboys were so important. You have to imagine, coming out of slavery times, breaking horses was something that was done on the plantation, and that skill alone allowed many black cowboys to work independent of being contract laborers. So they would come into a farm or a ranch, and they could break the cattle, and they could get piecemeal payments, and they could then move on to another town or city or settlement, and that was one of the big things. And so that was a big part of what was going on. So they were singing about their cutting horses, and there was something in the way that the guys sang, and Jack Thorpe is really specific because he at one point says they sang these other types of songs which were the more, he called them cotton patch songs. He's saying these are like field hollers and songs that people sang when they were at work. But this certain type of cutting horse song had a tone and a feel to it that the men sang. It was almost like a reflection of the loneliness on the range. And so when I was talking with Don Edwards about it, he was saying that even though they didn't have words for it, he felt like Jack Thorpe was hearing some form of the blues being sung. And so, I thought that was an interesting idea. And as he went along, he was drawn to these cutting horse songs, and he then decided instead of being a wrangler of cattle, he would then become a wrangler of ballads, because then he found that no cowboy knew more than 2 verses to any given song on any given day. So then that led him on a big journey trying to find all the verses, and songs like the Old Chisholm Trail, for example, have hundreds of verses to it. And so when he finally published his book, Songs of the Cowboy, he featured this little number that was based off of a true event that he saw on the range. This is a song called Little Joe the Wrangler. Little Joe the Wrangler will never wrangle more. His days with the remuda, they are done. 'Twas a year ago, last April, he joined the outfit here, a little Texas stray and all alone. 'Twas long late in the evening, he rode up to the herd on a little old brown pony he called Chaw. With his brogan shoes and overalls, a harder-looking kid you never in your life had seen before. His saddle was a southern cack built many years ago, an OK spur on one foot idly hung, and his hot roll in a cotton sack was loosely tied behind, and a canteen from the saddle horn he'd slung. He said he'd had to leave his home, his daddy'd married twice, and his new ma beat him every day or two. So we saddled up old Chaw one night and lit a shuck this way. Thought he'd try and paddle his own canoe. Said he'd try and do the best he could if we'd only give him work, but he didn't know straight up about a cow. So the boss, he cut him out a mount and kindly put him on, for he sorta liked the little stray somehow. Taught him how to herd the horses, learned to know them all, to round them up by daylight if he could, to follow the chuck wagon and to always hitch the team and help the cocinero rustle wood. We'd ridden to Red River and the weather had been fine. We were camped out on the south side in a bend when a norther commenced a blowin' and we doubled up our guard, for it took all hands to hold the cattle then. Little Joe the Wrangler was called out with the rest, and scarcely had the kid got to the herd when the cattle they stampeded like a hailstorm long they flew, and all of us were riding for the lead. Between the streaks of lightning you could see a horse ahead. 'Twas Little Joe the Wrangler in a lead. He was riding Old Blue Rocket with a slicker above his head, trying to catch the leaders in their speed. At last we got them millin' and kinda quieted down. The double guard back to the camp did go, but one of them was missing, and we all knew at a glance 'twas our little Texas stray, poor Wrangler Joe. Next morning just at sunup we found where Rocket fell, out in a washout 20 feet below. Beneath his horse, mashed to a pulp, his horse had rung the knell on our little Texas stray, poor Wrangler Joe. Little Joe the Wrangler. We'll see you all in just a little bit, folks. More good music on the way.
Welcome back for set 2. Yeah. I'm thrilled. It sounds like people are having a great time tonight. Thank you. I just want to get us focused for just a moment to get us started with set 2 with Dom Flemons. What do y'all think of set 1? Good deal. Good deal. All right, I'm not gonna give you a big speech like I did to start the show. I just want to remind you, 2 weeks from tonight, we have relay. Saturday night, 7 o'clock, just as usual. Hope to see you then. Thanks so much and enjoy set number 2 with Dom Flemons.
All right, thanks so much, Patrick. Well, I'm going to start this set off with a little piece from one of the early larger-than-life characters of the West who's been getting a lot of play, a fellow by the name of Bass Reeves. And so this is my little Bass Reeves song. You know, back when I wrote this one, not many people were talking about him. He was the first Deputy U.S. Marshal of the United States who was African-American, and he's said to be the historical basis for the fictional character, the Lone Ranger. And so that's what got me started on this one here. And when I wrote this one, I sort of put myself into a trance, and I started thinking about a movie called The Blues According to Lightning Hopkins. And I thought to myself, what would it be like if Lightning Hopkins wrote a song about Bass Reeves? Snapped out of that trance, and I came up with this song. He's a Lone Ranger. Now he's a U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a Lone Ranger. Bass Reeves is his name. There was a man way out west, rode around this country with a star on his breast. Every white man and an Indian tribe knew he was the baddest man that ever was alive. He's a U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a Lone Ranger. Bass Reeves is his name. Broad-shouldered and 6 feet tall, rode a sorrel like it outrun them all. Master of a pistol, master of disguise. He looked every man he caught now dead in the eye, 'cause he's a U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a Lone Ranger. Bass Reeves is his name. Born a slave down in Arkansas, lived with his master and his dear old mom. Mama said, son, you ain't free, but you do anything you want, though if the mister don't see. Now he's a U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a Lone Ranger. Bass Reeves is his name. Bass Reeves break into song, get down to business and it won't be long. Within Muskogee, 100 miles around, they call him Bass Reeves. He's bound to track you down, 'cause he's a U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a Lone Ranger. Bass Reeves is his name. Well, folks, I'm going to be switching around a couple of the songs on this next part of the program. Ended up breaking a string on that guitar. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, and then I'm going to jump back into one more little number that I'll play in a different tuning here. At least I had to tell you a bit about Bass Reeves. Now, this very next number here is a song that I heard on a recording of Mississippi John Hurt way back, and this is a piece called Payday. I did all I can do and I can't get along with you, so I'm going to take you back to Mama, Payday. And I'm going to be playing it on this a guitar that I got last fall from the National Guitar Company, a wonderful Resophonic guitar, wood body. This is the model that they call the Rosita. You know, and they emailed me out of the blue and they said, well, Dom, we want to give you a guitar. Would you like one? I said, yes, I do. They said, I said, can you put a pickup in it? They said, why, sure. And then I tried to get ambitious, and I asked them, I said, now, if you're going to give me a guitar, can you write my name in the inlay like the country singers do? They said, hold on, Jim. They said that they couldn't do it, but they were able to put logos on it, so they put my little American Songster logo and my name on the saddle here, so I feel pretty good about it. This one's been a good friend to me, and like I said, this one's called Payday. In a log, I ain't got no rabbit dog, and I hate to see my rabbit get away. Get away, get away. I hate to see my rabbit get away. Chickens in my sack, them bloodhounds on my track. I'm gonna make it to the woods if I can. If I can, if I can. Gonna make it to the woods if I can. And I did all I can do, can't get along with you. I'm gonna take you to your mama, Payday. Take you to your mama, Payday. Now this next song here is one that comes from an old-time songster by the name of Little Hat Jones, who was, he recorded about maybe 8 songs or so, and he had a lot of songs that were more standard blues, but this is one little ballady type song that he had that I took a liking to, and I was just thinking about a good friend of mine, a fellow by the name of Nat Myers, who's who actually lives not too far from here in Louisville. Wonderful blues singer, and he's actually been dealing with stage 4 cancer, and you know, he's only about 27, 28 years old. Very sad. But I did see him over in Floyd, Virginia, and through all of that, he put on a wonderful set, played some amazing music, and you know, when you have friends in the festival circuit, there are certain things that you just sort of connect over, and he's the only other guy that I ever met that's played any Little Hat Jones in his set. And so when we played back to back, he and I joked about that the audience is it's a rare experience that the audience gets to hear 2, not just 1 Little Hat Jones number in one afternoon. And this is a little piece called Bye Bye Baby Blues. But she couldn't understand. Tried to love my sweet woman, but she couldn't understand. Now I tried to love my sweet woman, but that woman couldn't understand. But you know, she realized the trouble. Now she found another man, and it's bye bye pretty baby, baby bye bye. Bye bye pretty baby, baby bye bye. Bye-bye, and it's bye-bye pretty baby, baby bye-bye, and it's bye-bye pretty baby, baby bye-bye. Now, if you'll give me just a moment to tune up on this one here, I'm going to grab the little number that I was planning to do, because this, of all things, is Dan's birthday. The string broke on the song that Dan specifically requested. So I don't want to let him down. But this is a song here that, this is one that was written for a much larger piece that I was a part of, a song project called Moja. And the story of Moja is a fellow traces his lineage all the way back to Africa through several generations. And through each memory of those generations, he visits different countries and goes through different types of songs. And at one point, he goes out west, and he starts talking about his Western story. And the seeds of this song came from a really interesting conversation that my two co-writers, Carl Gustafson and Billy Branch, were having. They were doing their own genealogies, independent of each other. And Carl, he's from Cheyenne, Wyoming, and he's a white blues singer. And Billy is from Chicago. He's a black blues singer. And the reason that's important for this particular story is that they were musing over this part of their genealogy. And what happened was that Carl traced his great-grandfather on the census record, and he found that his great-grandfather in Cheyenne, Wyoming was a mail carrier. And then Billy, he found out that his maternal grandmother came from Cheyenne, Wyoming as well, and that her family lived on the same route where Carl's great-grandfather delivered mail. And so they were musing on this idea, like, one, wouldn't it be interesting to know that our ancestors had met at one point? And then two, what would they have thought that over 100 years later, their descendants would become close friends, writing songs together and making music? And so that was where the seeds of this song came from. And the narrator of Moja, he laments the fact that so much of this Western history wasn't written down, and he bemoans the fact by calling out the title of the song, which is Nobody Wrote It Down.
Great-great-granddaddy was a runaway slave, noose around his neck if he be found. Great-great-granddaddy rode for Pony Express, but nobody wrote it down. Great-granddaddy was a buffalo soldier. In the Platte River, he almost drowned. Took an arrow through his left shoulder, but nobody wrote it down. Nobody wrote it down in the history books, it can't be found. Nobody wrote it down. Nobody wrote it down. Granddaddy on a cattle drive up to Montana from Abilene town, shot 2 rustlers to stay alive, but nobody wrote it down. Nobody wrote it down in the old
novels, it's hardly found. Nobody wrote it down. Nobody wrote it down. Nobody wrote it down in the history books. It can't be found. Nobody wrote it down. Nobody wrote it down. Daddy's brother was a railroad porter, the boiler blew and the fire all around, saved a woman as the fire shot toward her, but nobody wrote it down. Nobody wrote it down in the movie scripts, it can't be found. Nobody wrote it down. Nobody wrote it down. Great-granddaddy rode for Pony Express. Great-granddaddy was a Buffalo soldier. My granddaddy on a cattle drive. Daddy's brother was a railroad porter. In the history books it can't be found. Nobody wrote it down. Thank you so much. Now, I'd be amiss if I didn't at least pull out a little banjo for you. Let's see now. All right, well, seems like it cooled down enough to where the banjo's not going to be hurting too bad. This is a special banjo that I had made for me by a luthier named Jeffrey Menzies. He lives out in Jamaica, and this banjo is made from all Jamaican woods. The red body is a Jamaican maple, and the neck is from a special type of wood from the northern coast of Jamaica called blue maho. And this is a type of banjo that was made popular in the mid-19th century. And one of the distinctive parts of this type of banjo, of course, it has nylon strings, and it's fretless, but also it has this lower tone, and that's one of the big transitional points from the early banjo history, from the early African-American banjo to the first popularized banjos to the modern banjo. Basically, at a certain point around the turn of the century, they wanted to elevate the banjo status, I know, to that of the orchestra. And so they created banjos with metal strings that could be tuned to middle C on the piano. And so before that, banjo was generally in the key of E or A, which is, if you're a fan of blues, that's usually the keys of blues. But so this banjo sits right in that sort of area in the key of D. And this is a piece that I got commissioned to compose. If you can imagine old-timey music being commissioned. This one came from one of the great musicians of the world, a fellow by the name of Yo-Yo Ma. He commissioned me to write this one. And he also asked if I wanted to go whitewater rafting with him, too, to premiere it. And it's true. This is a true story now. Now, so that came down the line. And so he had seen a video of me playing this banjo and wanted me to make this new piece for a whole project he was doing that was meant to activate physical nature and natural spaces. And so a bunch of artists and thought leaders, artisans and artists came together with Yo-Yo Ma, and we went to the New River Gorge in West Virginia, and we went whitewater rafting to show our bond in the hopes that one day we would all bring that spirit together after taking that spirit out of that natural space. And so in asking me to put this piece together, I wrote this little one called The Lost River Blues. Can you hear that all right? In the back, can you hear it? All right. Ooh, hello. Now let's see here. Let me get one more here. This is a little square dance number just to give you a little bit more of some of the regular old-timey music. This is another one from Joe Thompson. I started out the first set with a Joe Thompson number. This is one of the pieces that Joe used to call square dances on. This is one, Old Corn Liquor. You wouldn't even believe it, but that song was featured in a major motion picture recently. My old singing partners, the Carolina Chocolate Drops, Rena and Justin, they played that in the movie Sinners, if you can believe that. Keep an eye out for it, though. It's a very quick cutover. They left the banjo to the vampires, you know. Just say, you know. But you know, I'm just one of the vipers, you know. That's all. But nevertheless, this is a piece that I used to play with the Chocolate Drops, you know, and we did our very first show in 15 years, just earlier this year at the end of April. And it was good, you know. It wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't like a Fleetwood Mac sort of situation. We did all right. You know, we didn't pull a Fugees on anybody, you know. It was good. It was good, you know. And we did a lot of the old favorites, including this one here. This is a piece that I brought from Arizona with me. I got this from a LP called Fat Mouth Blues. And it was songs that were all recorded by a musician by the name of Papa Charlie Jackson. And this one's called Your Baby Ain't Sweet Like Mine.
sweetie nowadays. I got the one with the sweetest ways. Your baby may roll it jelly fine. Nobody's baby can roll it like mine. Your baby ain't sweet like mine. She bake a jelly roll all the time. And when I'm feeling lonesome and blue, my baby knows just what to do. Yes, sir. She even called me honey. She even let me spend the money. Never has a baby put me out door. She even buy me all my clothes. I don't want to brag, just want to put you in line. Your baby ain't sweet like mine, oh no. Your baby ain't sweet like mine. She bake a jelly roll all the time. And when I'm feeling lonesome and blue, my baby knows just what to do. Yes, sir. She even called me honey. She even let me spend the money. Never has a baby put me out door. She even buy me all my clothes. I don't want to brag, just want to put you in line. Your baby ain't sweet like mine, oh no. Your baby ain't sweet like mine. Your baby ain't sweet like mine. Bake a jelly roll all of the time. And when I'm feeling lonesome and blue, yeah, my baby knows just what to do. Yes, sir. She even calls me honey. She even let me spend the money. Never has a baby put me out door. Even buy me every bit of my clothes. Now I don't want to brag, just want to put you in line. Your baby ain't sweet like mine, oh no. Your baby ain't sweet like mine, oh yes. Your baby ain't sweet like mine.
Thank you so much. Now let's get another banjo breakdown in. This is one I learned from recording from the Library of Congress. This is a piece called Po Black Sheep. This is one that was collected by a third-generation black ethnomusicologist who worked out of Fisk University, actually, a fellow by the name of John Wesley Work III. And he recorded two fellows, Nathan Frazier and Frank Patterson. And I took a liking to this number. And after about 20 years, I've put a couple of different embellishments in. And I'm going to see if I can pull a few of the stops out for you again. Let's see. Let me get that down tight.
Go to bed and get a little faster. Wake snake days breaking, the peas in the bottle, whole cake's baking. All along from this creation, 3 weeks hooks, 5 vacations. Well, the boss do just fine, daytime's his nighttime. Sammy. Ah, Lammy. Got a little lamb, call him Sammy. Going down the street with a pretty gal. What's her name? I know that gal. Southern Belle. Where you going with her? I'm going to Alabama with the banjo on my knee. Now, banjo, if you're going to get to Bama from here, you better start a run. Well, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I got time for just one more for you this evening. Once again, my name's Dom Flemons. I'm known as the American Songster. It's been a pleasure to be at the Hill House again. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Kathy and Dan, for your sponsorship here tonight. Thank you, Patrick and Pam, for putting it on. And please keep supporting live music no matter where you go, wherever you are. Please keep supporting live music. We need you. And with that being said, I'll once again mention over at the tent over there the QR codes that you can scan there to get you to all of the proper places you might need to go. And then also, just to show you, I'm coming in from Chicago. I got a little Garrett's popcorn tin over yonder. It helps out with gas. It helps out with any type of little means that you can to help support the cause. You know, I do this for my full-time living, so anything that you can help contribute, that Garrett's popcorn can will help you contribute. You can also go on the QR code, and there is a Garrett's popcorn can that is digital that you can also check out as well. And so this last little number is and also I'll mention also in passing, as I'm playing this number here, I put this particular harmonica piece together in the style of D. Ford Bailey, one of the great pioneers of country music.
He was a harmonica player that was actually the first performer to appear on what would become the Grand Ole Opry. And currently I have a radio program that precedes the Grand Ole Opry on WSM in Nashville, Tennessee, American Songs to Radio. We are now in our 6th season, and please make sure to tune in. We just recently had country singer Reese Palmer on the program, and we are actually going to be having Ciara Kennedy, who appeared on the Cowboy Carter record on the song Blackbird. She'll be on the next program. That's a little preview. Don't tell anybody. Keep that under your hat. We've also had some wonderful episodes with Billy Strings, Branford Marcellus, Steve Martin, Sam Bush, and a whole bunch of others. So make sure to check it out. It's in all the places you can stream. And if you happen to have Sirius XM, I just did a program on Sirius XM where I'm going through a full discussion on the African American roots of bluegrass and playing a lot of old-time recordings showing some of those different parallels that bring all this different type of American music together into what we know and what we don't know and all of those things like that. So make sure to check it out. But with this last little number here, this is one that I put together. It's an old fiddle number. And when I first got into D. Ford Bailey's music, D. Ford's grandfather was a fiddler, and he had several numbers that he had adapted from fiddle numbers onto the harmonica. And so there was one particular number called the Old Hen Cackle that I really liked that he did, which is a fiddling showpiece. And so D. Ford played it kind of like this. And I thought to myself, I got to figure something out that's going to be at least as cool as that. And so I put together this old fiddle tune, and I played it for many years. And even when I perform on the Opry, I always like to start every single set that I do with this number because it pays tribute to D. Ford, who played a harmonica instrumental at the beginning of every Opry show for the first 15 years. And I'm going to play it for you now. This one's called Brown Skin Girl. And it's been a real pleasure to be here at the Hill House, and hopefully it won't be too long before I'm back up here again. Next birthday, Dan?